Hello, this is Newslive on Viewer Television. I am Ambassador Jesse. The headlines. Senate charges President Muhammadu Buhari to declare full-scale war against terrorists. Telcos threaten to shut down facilities in Kogi State over indiscriminate taxes. Plus, UK government detains Russian-owned super yacht in London's Canary Wharf. President Muhammadu Buhari has written to the Nigerian Senate seeking accelerated passage of a bill for an act to establish the Federal University of Health Sciences, Otupo. The Senate also received the National Senior Secondary School Education Commission bill transmitted to the National Assembly by President Buhari. The bill was accompanied by a letter read by the Senate President Ahmed Lawan during plenary on Tuesday. The management and board of FUSO have been constituted by the federal government in 2021 with Professor Innocent Uja as the Vice-Chancellor. The institution has also kick-started arrangements for academic and other extracurricular activities. The President prayed for the expeditious consideration and passage of the bill by the upper chamber. President Muhammadu Buhari has broken his silence on tax administration in Nigeria, saying the 2021 Finance Act empowers the Federal Inland Revenue Service, FIRS, as a sole authority to administer tax for the federal government. Buhari, who spoke at the second National Tax Dialogue Week in Abuja, said the clarification became necessary to avoid taxpayers being burdened with multiple tax compliance obligations towards different agencies of the same government. Recall that the FIRS and Rivers State government have been engaged in a battle of wits over tax collection at the state level. Buhari used the forum to restate his administration's commitment to an efficient tax administration to improve tax revenue in the country. The president also expressed concerns over the dwindling revenues from commodities, insisting that there is an urgent need to maximize domestic revenue within the extant tax policy and laws. The National Assembly on Tuesday transmitted 44 constitution review bills recently passed by the Senate and House of Representatives to the state houses of assembly for further legislative work. The two chambers of the National Assembly had considered 68 constitution review, fifth alteration bills, but only 44 were passed. The clerk to the National Assembly, Amos Ojo, made the presentation to clerks to the 36 state houses of assembly in Abuja. The chairperson Forum of Clerks of State Houses of Assembly, Lina Ocholo, symbolically received the bills on behalf of 34 of her colleagues present at the ceremony. Following the continued attacks on communities and public facilities in Kaduna State and the country as a whole, the Senate on Tuesday asked President Muhammadu Buhari to declare a full-scale war against terrorists to fully secure all the nation's territory from them in whatever guise. The upper legislative chamber also called on the Army and the Air Force to carry out a sustained bombardment of terrorist enclaves with a view to flushing them out and restoring peace and stability in the country. The resolutions followed a point of order raised on Tuesday by Senator Obasani, the APC Kaduna Central, who noted that terrorists have in recent times stepped up attacks on some communities and public facilities in Kaduna State. He bemoaned the attacks by bandits on a Kaduna-bound train carrying over 970 passengers around the Katari-Rijana axis in Kaduna, just a few kilometers to the Rigasa train station in Igabi local government area of the state. The House of Representatives on Tuesday tasked security agencies on the need to put together a task force to check and repel attacks on nation's airports and railways. This follows a motion of urgent national importance brought by Honorable Nolim Naji at plenary following recent incidents of terrorist attacks on the Kaduna International Airport and the Rigasa end of the Abuja-Kaduna Standard Gauge within a space of 4 days. The report.
The two incidents of insecurity occurred within a space of 4 days, and federal lawmakers do not find the development acceptable. A member of the House of Representatives, Nolim Naji, representing Nkanu East West Federal Constituency of the Anambra State, while debating the motion, said 12 persons were adopted by the terrorists that attacked the Kaduna International Airport on the 25th of March, with one person, a security personnel, and a staff of Nigerian Airspace Management Agency reportedly killed. This is despite efforts by the military to repel the attacks, noting that if something drastic is not done urgently, it may embolden terrorists to attack more airports in the country.
Definitely, if it happens in other places, if they start attacking our airports, the implication is that even the international airlines will stop coming to Nigeria. That's the implication, and the premium on our local airlines, the premium on their insurance will increase, will go up, and the implication is that the air tickets will double. But once the premium on insurance goes up, the air ticket will double. So that's why I'm asking that the leadership should come to our aid to see how we can solve this problem.
Lawmakers, while condemning the act, called for proactive action by security agencies through the setting up of task force to man the nation's airports and railways.
We must present a very formidable front as a house to ensure that this thing do not happen again. And for it not to happen, somebody, somewhere, must be held responsible. It couldn't have just been ordinary that these people drive through the city and come and challenge the security of our airports. For me, it is not only reprehensible, Honorable Speaker, sir, but a display of general ineptitude on the part of the security responsible for security in our airports.
Now those who used to go to Kaduna by road became challenged because of kidnapping on Abuja-Kaduna road. And then thank God the railway came, the train came, Mr. Speaker, and they are being challenged today. Nigerian Railway Corporation had issued a statement that they are going to suspend the activities of the rail along that line. And Mr. Speaker, we were challenged some few days ago for us to have an infraction in the airport, which means that nowhere is safe. So, Mr. Speaker, if our roads are not safe, if our rails are not safe, and if our airport, which is the beginning point of our airways, are not safe, Mr. Speaker, then it calls for us to suspend everything political to begin to address the critical needs of Nigerians.
An amendment on the need to include the incident of the bombing of a train carrying over 970 passengers, which was attacked near Rigasa Station, Kaduna, was also unanimously adopted. The motion was adopted unanimously when put to vote by Honorable Idris Wasi, Deputy Speaker of the House at plenary.
The Human Rights Writers Association of Nigeria on Tuesday condemned what it described as the silence of the President, Muhammadu Buhari, on the attacks of terrorists on Kaduna Airport and the Kaduna-Abuja rail track. The group also carpeted the federal government for failing to take urgent action as regards the security situation in the country. This follows Monday night terrorist attack on passengers in the Abuja-Kaduna rail track and Saturday's Kaduna Airport attack. In a statement made available to newsmen in Abuja, the group stressed that last night's terrorist bombing of a packed train heading to Abuja unambiguously signposts a dangerous peak in the war against Nigeria and Nigerians by the Fulani terrorists operating from the northwest of Nigeria. Following coordinated attacks on key transportation facilities in Kaduna State, the House of Representatives is inviting security chiefs for an emergency meeting to tackle the menace. Also invited are the Minister of Transport, Minister of Aviation, and heads of affected agencies. The House, while debating the recent security breaches, in particular the attack last Friday by bandits at the Kaduna International Airport and attack on the train also in Kaduna, said the incidents are disturbing as they erode public confidence. Some lawmakers called on government to declare a state of emergency on the security situation in parts of the country. When Newslive returns, the Nigerian Railway Corporation has suspended operations along the Abuja-Kaduna route after terrorists blew a track and attacked a train on Monday night. Details of this and more comes to you after the break. Welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is News Live. A recap of our top stories. Senate charges President Muhammadu Buhari to declare a full-scale war against terrorists. Telcos threaten to shut down facilities in Kogi State over indiscriminate taxes. Plus, UK government detains Russian-owned super yacht in London's Canary Wharf. The Nigerian Railway Corporation has suspended operations along the Abuja-Kaduna route after terrorists blew a track and attacked a train on Monday night. The NRC made this known in a post via its official Twitter handle on Tuesday morning. In a terse statement, the NRC stated that the suspension was due to unforeseen circumstances. However, newsmen report that the Kaduna-bound train with an unspecified number of passengers on board was on Monday night attacked by terrorists. The gunmen were said to have blown up the rail track, forcing the 1,000-capacity train to derail around Rijana, a village on the rail corridor in Kaduna. The House of Representatives Committee on Public Accounts has again summoned the 17 subsidiaries of the defunct Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, the NNPC, now NNPC Limited, to appear before it to answer questions on the audit queries issued by the Auditor General of the Federation over the operation of their finances between 2014 and 2019, respectively. The summon became imperative when Chairman of the committee, Oluwale Oke, was highlighting the issues raised to the Managing Director of the NNPC Limited, Mele Kyari. It will be recalled that the House Public Account Committee had last week requested the all 17 subsidiaries on the NNPC Limited to appear before the committee and answer all issues raised against them. The NNPC subsidiaries are to appear unfailingly alongside with all their managing directors on Monday, the 4th of April 2022. The Association of Licensed Telecommunications Operators of Nigeria has expressed its concern about the shutting down of telecommunications facilities in Kogi State as a result of disputes arising from unusual taxes and levies demanded by the Kogi State government through the Kogi State Internal Revenue Service. The group, in a statement issued by the chairman Benga Adebayo and head operations Bolahon Awonuga, stated that the issue is likely to lead to a total communications blackout in the state, parts of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, and possible impact on service availability in some parts of Nasarawa, Benue, Enugu, Anambra, Edo, Ondo, Ekiti, Kwara, and Niger states because those states are sharing borders with Kogi. The state further explained that the situation arose because a number of critical telecommunications sites belonging to the members have been closed and sealed up by the state government in an attempt to increase its internally generated revenue collection. The group hinted that they are very concerned that the indiscriminate action has the potential of further leading to a total telecommunications outage in the state, with neighboring states and parts of the FCT adversely impacted. The people of Lasukugbeni community in southern Ijo local government area of Bayelsa have disagreed with the Nigerian Ajib oil company over how the latter responded to the oil spill which occurred in the area. While the community berated NAOC for being insensitive and negligent for 6 weeks, after two major oil spills occurred in the community from the Tebidaba brass trunk pipeline. The oil firm claimed that its response effort was hampered by the community. Newsmen reported that environmentalists who visited the spill site, however, noticed a large polluted area that has yet to be cleaned. Residents of the community said the Lasukubene community had not benefited from the oil company since it started operations in the area in 1974. They expressed regrets that in spite of the dearth of benefits from oil exploration, frequent oil spills had destroyed the ecosystem, crippling fishing and farming activities. The Nigerian Army says troops of 82 Division have dislodged the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, and its armed affiliate, Eastern Security Network, from their hideout in Anambra. The Director, Army Public Relations, Onyema Nwachukwu, in a statement said the clearance operation took place at Orsomogu, Ihiala local government area of the state. Nwachukwu said the notorious groups had serially launched attacks on defenseless civilians and security targets from the hideout. He said troops were met with stiff resistance from the dissident elements as they closed in on their enclave during the operations along Imo-Anambra border communities. According to him, the criminals were overwhelmed by the troops' superior firepower, forcing them to abandon their hideout. The president of the Christian Association of Nigeria, Reverend Samson Ayokunle, has criticized the Academic Staff Union of Universities and the federal government over the ongoing strike by lecturers across universities in the country. Ayokunle said ASU was impatient and disrespected him and the Sultan of Sokoto, Saad Abubakar, by going ahead with the strike despite wading into the matter. He said the Nigerian Interreligious Council, which they both chair, would have left ASU to continue but for the future of the affected students. The CAN chairman spoke during the first quarter meeting of the council with the theme Education for Peace and Nation Building in Abuja. He also faulted the federal government's claim that it lacked the required funds to meet the demands of ASU. A federal high court in Abuja has fixed May 27, 2022 for hearing in a fresh suit seeking to upturn the 2019 election of President Muhammadu Buhari and to declare his presidential seat vacant. Former presidential candidate Ambrose Owuru instituted the court action challenging the return of President Buhari for a second term of office. The suit is marked FHC ABJ CS 480-1 with the title Chief Ambrose Albert Owuru and HDP versus President Muhammadu Buhari and two others. The two others on the originating summons are the Independent National Electoral Commission, the INEC, and the Attorney General of the Federation, AGF, and Minister of Justice as co-defendants. The judge found that Buhari, as the first defendant in the suit, was not served with a hearing notice as required by law. Consequently, the court fixed another date of May the 27th to enable hearing notice to be served on Buhari for hearing of the suit. Ahead of the 2023 general elections, the Sultan of Sokoto, His Eminence Muhammad Saad Abubakar, warns politicians against making it a do-or-die affair, adding that it is only God that gives power to whomever he wishes. The Sultan, who made the call in Bauchi during the 36th Quranic recitation competition hosted by Bauchi State Government in collaboration with Dan Fodio University Sokoto, also admonishes traders and business owners against increasing prices of foodstuff as Ramadan fasting draws nearer. Our Bauchi State correspondent Awal Hassan completes the story.
The 36th Quranic recitation competition, which was hosted by the Bauchi State Government in collaboration with Fodio University Sokoto, draws participants from all states of the Federation, including FCT Abuja. For the past 9 days, this exercise has been on, and on the final day, Sultan of Sokoto, His Eminence Muhammad Saad Abubakar III, being royal guest of honor, graced the closing ceremony. He, however, shows concern on the attitudes of some politicians who are desperate to have power especially as the 2023 election draws nearer.
Please play politics with the fear of Almighty Allah, knowing that He is the only one who gives power to whom He wants, at the time He wants, and He will take it away from you when He wants, at the time He wants without asking you. So do not make it a do or die affair, because Almighty Allah already knows who is going to be a leader come 2023, whether at state or federal level. We don't know because we are mere mortals. So let's play the game by the rules. We must play the game by the rules. We must be fearful. And on that day, that will meet our Creator.
One other area of concern by the Sultan of Sokoto is the attitudes of some traders and business owners of increasing prices of foodstuffs, especially in times like these when the Ramadan fasting is approaching.
Ramadan is coming, and the cost of living in this country is going higher and higher. So we'd like to use this medium to call on all market people who sell and buy and produce things to be fearful of what Almighty Allah will ask them when they get to Him on the day of judgment. Instead of increasing the cost, the prices of foodstuffs and other necessary things, please try and reduce them to get the blessing of Almighty Allah.
The Bauchi State Governor on his part also laments the numerous challenges faced by the country, which he says at the state level, his administration is doing all it can to reduce the hardship encountered by the people.
You will agree with me that the world today is faced with numerous challenges, ranging from material and moral corruption, intellectual bankruptcy, insecurity, and other social maladies. This state of affairs is threatening the socio-economic and the very existence of the world as a planet that is all the people. I want to call on well-meaning, God-fearing Muslims, especially our respected ulamas, to intensify prayers.
The overall winner of the competition from the male category emerged from Borno State, while from the female category is Zamfara State. Each of them received a cash donation of 3 million naira in addition to other gifts. Awal Hassan, Viewer TV News, Bauchi.
Now on the foreign scene, Britain has detained a Russian-owned $50 million super yacht hours before it was due to leave London, where he had booked for a meeting of the Super Yacht Awards, saying the move was part of its sanctions package aimed at punishing Moscow. The 58.5-meter Dutch-built yacht named Fee was detained in the Canary Wharf financial district of London under the government's Russian sanction, the first time the regulations have been used to detain a ship. The government said Fee was owned by a Russian businessman it did not name, but that ownership was deliberately hidden. The company the ship is registered to based in St. Kitts and Nevis, and the ship carrying Maltese flag. The National Crime Agency said the owner of the vessel had not been sanctioned in Britain, but that under the law, ship owned, controlled, chartered, or operated by persons connected with Russia could be subject to detention. The leader of the Solomon Islands on Tuesday said he was poised to sign a proposed security agreement with China that has angered local opposition leaders, alarmed neighboring countries, and thrust the small Pacific island nation to the center of a broader debate over the future of the Indo-Pacific. In a defiant address to Parliament, Prime Minister Manasseh Sogavari described the backlash to the deal as very insulting, even as he denied the agreement would lead to China building a military base in the Solomon Islands, 1,000 miles from Australian shores. Sogavari compared his nation to a helpless mouse surrounded by vicious cats that will do anything to survive. He said he was not jettisoning existing security agreements with Australia and New Zealand, who along with the United States have objected to the deal, but rather trying to diversify. Opposition leaders who have accused Sogavari of using the agreement to consolidate power ahead of next year's election called for further discussion.
我们已经做符合国际法和国际惯例，有利于增进 有利于所社会的稳定和长治久安，也有利于增进地区国家的共同利益，无可指摘。我们希望相关的这个国家切实尊重所方主权，尊重所方自主做的决定，而不是居高临下的认为自己资格去要求所方做什么或者。
New talks between Russia and Ukraine are getting underway in Istanbul on Tuesday in an attempt to bring an end to war, which is now in its second month. The talks are taking place in the Dolmabahce Palace, and Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan welcomed the negotiators to Istanbul, saying both Ukraine and Russia have legitimate concerns and called on them to put an end to this tragedy. The talks come as Russia says it wants to refocus its invasion efforts to consolidate ground held east of the country in the predominant Russian-speaking Donbas region. The Russian negotiators arrived on Monday in Istanbul, where a previous round of talks took place on 10th of March at foreign minister level but failed to produce any progress. The talks then continued by video conference.
Gelinen aşama itibariyle heyet üyeleri olarak sizler tarihi bir sorumluluk üstlendiniz. Tüm dünya sizlerden gelecek hayırlı ve müjdeli haberleri bekliyor. Adil bir barışın kaybedeni olmayacağına inanıyoruz. Çatışmanın uzaması hiç kimsenin yarına değildir. Her iki ülkenin meşru kaygılarını giderecek, uluslararası toplumun muteber kabul edeceği bir çözüme ulaşılması.
And that's all on Newslive. But before we go, a recap of the headlines. Senate President Muhammadu Buhari to declare full-scale war against terrorists. Telcos threaten to shut down facilities in Kogi State over indiscriminate taxes. Plus, UK government detains Russian-owned super yacht in London's Canary Wharf. Thanks for watching. I am Basti Jesse. Please stay tuned and enjoy the rest of our programs.